Yo, excuse me. Yo. What's going on, man? Today is February. It's still February the 4th, 2024. It's your boy Chris, and this is the late night ChrisBeCappinn NBA show. Doing something a little different tonight. Um, I mentioned this yesterday in the video. I know a lot of people tuned in. I appreciate everybody for coming through, hitting the like button for me, joining the channel, subscribing to the channel, all that good stuff. I mentioned this week. You guys see it on the slideshow on the little graphic right here. For the new people, I am live. I know a lot of new people watch the video. I am live every single day, 5 p.m. Eastern time, daily on Twitter and on YouTube at 5 p.m. Eastern time, handicapping the games, breaking down the games, giving out looks. The link for my official plays, if you guys are interested in either supporting or purchasing my plays, it's $5.99 a month. The official plays and my live plays are in the description. Also, the link to the Eyes Jam promo page is also in the description on this YouTube video. And if you're watching on Twitter, it's also live on the link tree that's posted in the comment section, in the description section as well, over there as well. So I did something a little different. Like I said, no live show tomorrow. I'll still be giving out plays, still kind of handicapping the card. Already, got a couple plays that I fired off for tomorrow already. So we're just gonna jump right into it, man. 6 games on the board for tomorrow. We're gonna jump right into it. And do me a favor, as you guys join, as I always ask, smash the like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. And also turn the notification bell on for me. Greatly appreciate it. Appreciate everybody for doing that as always. So let's jump right into it, man. Before we go into it, though, as we always do, we have quick recap. So today I was on Phoenix and Washington under. I didn't give out a lot of plays. I talked about a lot of different ways to play the card for today. It was a lot of games in the NBA. I didn't want to jump and take too many spots just because it was Sunday and it's extremely volatile, but we did go a lot of things that I talked about cash as well, but I didn't quite get there. Phoenix, Washington under 241. Washington plays no defense without Marvin Bagley and without Kyle Kuzma. Phoenix literally had a field day, and they probably would have went. They could have scored many points as they wanted to. I think they had 100 at like the middle of the third quarter. So the full game under didn't cash, but Washington team total did stay under 115.5. So that was a winner. And then we parlay and I'm sorry, that should not say Milwaukee. It should say OKC and OKC and Utah on the money line. That's a mess up in the graphic. But we did end up cashing Milwaukee. Milwaukee ran out of gas late in that game for people who were watching. OKC had to go to overtime, and we'll talk about Toronto in just a second. So 2-1 day, 3-1 on the weekend. Super light volume. Do not go too crazy on the weekend ever. But we did cash this weekend. So 3-1. I'll take it every single weekend, just going super light with the plays. Let's get into the games for today, man. First game up, we got the Dallas Mavericks. And so it's a lot of games that started around the same time. This isn't the first game according to the actual numbered games, but we'll start here. We got Dallas and we got Philly. So Dallas and Philly, I made a slideshow for just about this game specifically. You guys see here, the Dallas Mavericks are, and these are some of the trends that I'm giving you guys when I'm talking about it on the show. I just put it in the presentation so you guys will be able to see it. So you got Dallas 26-23 on the season, and 12-10 straight up on the road against the spread. Not a profitable team, 24-25, but they are 13-9 against the spread on the road specifically. And overall, you see the downward arrow. This team is trending downwardly, probably in most part due to injury. Last 10 games, they are 3-7 straight up, 2-8 against the spread. Haven't been covering numbers, and really has been their defense, which I'm gonna touch on a little bit more in a second. On the Philly side, we know that they've been, a little injured. They've also been on that long road trip, and they've not been playing their best basketball. However, on the season, Nick Nurse has, put them in a pretty good position, to withstand Joel Embiid not being with the team for some time. Woj did drop, some news that said that, pretty much what we knew, that Joel Embiid won't be with the team for the foreseeable future, but he didn't give a timeline. So on the season, 30-18 straight up, 17-7 at the crib. Against the spread, they're 29-19, and they've pretty much been a really good dominant home team. 16-8 against the spread at home. Now they were 16-7, but we did fade them correctly yesterday, taking Brooklyn on the money line. Last 10 games, they're 5-5 straight up, 4-6 against the spread. We know that they went out west on their road trip and did not fare well during that at all. So Moving along, so let's look at injuries in the game. So Kyrie, who's missed the last couple games on the Mavs side, he is expected to play. He's listed as probable now. Dante Exum is listed as questionable, and Derek Lively's already been rolled out for this game. Luka also listed as questionable. I'm not sure if people watched the game yesterday against Milwaukee, but he got his leg rolled up on by Giannis, and I thought he wasn't going to stay in the game. He actually stayed in the game and played pretty well. He actually played really, really well, and at least for the first quarter and the first half. Before they kind of slowed down offensively. But injury-wise for Philly, Joel Embiid is out. Nicholas Batum, who missed the game yesterday, he also will be out for this game. Tobias Harris, who missed the game with an illness, is listed as questionable for this game. And then, DeAnthony Milton and Robert Covington also they'll also continue to be out, even though Milton is kind of ramping up to get back, in game shape. So as far as the situational spot, you got Dallas playing on 1 day's rest. They are coming off the loss against the Milwaukee Bucks at home. This is the first leg of a back-to-back. They play in Brooklyn tomorrow, and Brooklyn also will be on the first leg of a back-to-back playing Golden State. We'll talk about that game here in a second. Situationally for the 76ers, this is the second game back home after that 6-game road trip, 1 day's rest, and they do play the Warriors on Wednesday. So looking at this, I really wanted to make a graphic. I thought this was really important. So looking at Dallas, I kind of talked about them struggling, right? And it's really because they've been just not healthy. You see on the left-hand side, this team is 9-7 straight up, 6-10 against the spread since the start of the new year. They're 29th in defensive rating over the last 5 games, 9th in offensive rating. So they're able to score the ball, just not able to get a lot of stops. Number 3 in turnover percentage in the last 5 games, and they're still playing at a very fast pace, 8th fastest pace over the last 5 games. Now they've had Kyrie in. They've had Kyrie out mostly. Luka has missed a couple games. Derek Lively has missed a lot of games. And I wanted to kind of highlight the impact of Derek Lively. So you guys see here, Dallas, they're minus 4.6 in point differential without Derek Lively on the floor. These numbers come from Cleaning the Glass, if you guys are interested. And no, they don't pay me to promote them, but I do enjoy being able to kind of break the game down from an analytical perspective and numbers that they have over there. So getting back into this, the Dallas Mavericks, they rank in the bottom 15 percentile in offensive rebound percentage. They're allowing 120.9 points per 100 possessions without Derek Lively on the floor, and they rank in the bottom 20th percentile. Now the percentiles can go all the way up to 100. So if you're bottom 20, that's not good at all. You guys see at the bottom that this says that without Luka, without Lively and Kyrie, which not applicable now, but without those guys, they're actually a minus 8.1. I wasn't sure if Kyrie was going to play, and I made this graphic a little earlier. So Dallas, I say all that to say Dallas is not in the greatest position. They have been playing a little bit better on the road than they have been at home, but with Luka being questionable, I'm not sure if he's absolutely going to play in this one. If he plays, I think that means that they're going to, definitely try to go for the win in this game, but I'm not 100% sure. So now let's look at the side for Philly. So 2-5 straight up and against the spread since Joel Embiid scored the 70 points against the San Antonio Spurs about 2 weeks ago. Since then, or at least in the last 5 games, this team has been really, really bad defensively. You see 28th over the last 5 games, 14th in offensive rating, 28th in rebound percentage. They've been getting crushed on the glass, and 24th in pace. They've been slowing the game down a little bit, especially without Joel Embiid. So here, another injured player, right? So the impact of Joel Embiid, with him on the floor, Philly is a plus 8.7, so almost a plus 9. They're winning the games by winning the time that Joel Embiid spends on the floor by about 9 points. Without him, it drops to plus 2.6. So that tells you that Joel Embiid means about 6 points to the spread across almost 2,100 possessions this season. They do rank in the bottom 6 percentile in offensive rebounds over the last 5 games. Without Joel Embiid in, they're bottom 6th in free throw percentage as well, because Joel Embiid is the only person that really takes free throws for this team, and they're allowing 116 points per 100 possessions. At the bottom, you guys see here, this says, what does this say? This says, without Embiid, the 76ers are 4-10 straight up and just 6-8 against the spread. So what do you do with this game? You don't know the status of Luka yet. You don't know the status of Tobias Harris yet. He could potentially, I think that he probably will return, but I'm not sure what to do with the game. What I am kind of looking at, and I probably won't even get there, but the total to me, just let's look at the total real quick. So the Mavs 11-5 to the under in 2024. you see them have like really, really good, strong quarters, whether it's at the beginning of the game or at the end of the game. And then, things kind of slow down. They're 3-point variance shooting teams. So sometimes they're hidden and they score 40 points in one quarter. And other times they're not hidden and they score 26, 27 points in a quarter. Also got the Mavs at 3-1 to the over in non-conference road games. And then on the 76ers side, they're 5-2 to the over since Joel Embiid's 70-point game or 70-plus point game. I'm not sure how many points he had. They're also 2-1 to the over without Embiid at home games. We just saw Brooklyn yesterday come in there and get whatever it is that they wanted, because the 76ers they don't do a good job of rebounding the basketball. They're turning the ball over a lot more. So teams are getting out and running. And I think Dallas is going to try to take advantage of that as well. So I kind of lean towards the over in this game. If I had a play in this game, I didn't play it, but that would be the play. I think, like you guys can read, neither of these teams can currently be trusted defensively at all. Luka and Kyrie, I think they help push the, getting Kyrie back if Luka plays. I think that helps a lot, especially without Lively. I think they just run up and down the floor. And Philly playing at a faster pace. Philly plays at a faster pace without Joel Embiid as well. So I do kind of lean towards the over in this game. I know 242 is a pretty high total, but that's the only way I'll be able to play this one. Let's keep going to the next game. So next game up, we got my Los Angeles Lakers. They will be in Charlotte. This line is let's change this banner real quick. This line is 10.5 right now in favor of the Lakers as road favorites, and the total sitting at 231. So you got the Lakers 27-25 straight up. They are only 9-17. That's a straight up record on the road. This team has not been good. We have not looked good, even though we have won the last couple games. Against the spread, the Lakers are 23-28 on the season, and on the road, not profitable. 11-15 against the spread on the road. Last 10, 6-4 straight up, and against the spread in the last 10. On the opposite side, you got a Charlotte team this Charlotte team is terrible. Straight up, they're 10-30. That should say 38 now. I haven't updated this since they just lost to the Pacers. They're 10-38, 5-19 straight up at home. Against the spread, they didn't cover today, so they're 16-32 against the spread and 8-16 at home against the number. In their last 10 games, this should now say 1-9 straight up and 1-9 against the spread. So this team has looked really, really bad. LaMelo hasn't been there. They've just looked really, really bad, especially since the Terry Rozier trade. Not sure if LaMelo is going to play or not tomorrow. I do think that is pretty, noteworthy in this game. So injury-wise, Jared Vanderbilt's going to continue to be out. He's hopefully, man, I cross my fingers. I hope he's not done for the season, because we definitely need the defensive intensity that he brings on that side of the floor. But he did hurt himself pretty bad in that Boston game. And he's going to be out for a while. Cam Reddish also is going to continue to miss time. And Anthony Davis' name popped up on the injury report as questionable. I'm not sure if they're going to rest AD or not. You should be able to get a win against the Charlotte team without him. And that's one of the things that, he changes the game a lot. If he doesn't play, I like the over a little bit more. If he plays, I like the under a little bit more, especially with Charlotte struggling to score. They had like 12 points at the end of the first quarter today, and I think they only finished with 99 against a Pacers team that, does not play a lot of defense. On the opposite side, like I said, LaMelo's listed as questionable. You still don't got Mark Williams. You still don't got Gordon Hayward as well. Let's see. So situationally, you got the Lakers 6 straight and final road game, typically a spot you don't want to lay a lot of points with a team on to finish this road trip. Although I will say LeBron did come out after the game and say, we know that Charlotte team is a professional NBA team. And if we go in there and take them lightly, that could be it. We could lose that game. So we'll see if they take that message serious or not. This is, back-to-back. They are coming off back-to-back wins versus the Celtics and the Knicks. They do host Denver on Thursday. So potential look-ahead spot, I'm not sure. Situationally for the Charlotte Hornets, I wrote, man, they're missing LaMelo and Terry Rozier. This number is now 0-8 straight up against the spread since Rozier was traded, losing by an average of 17 points. That number might come down to like 16.5 now, because I think they lost by like 15. But this team has not been good, man. Not been good at all. The only hiccup in this game is not knowing the status of Anthony Davis, in my opinion. And that's why I put the little crying emoji right there, because it's a sad, sad sight right now situationally in Charlotte. So looking at the Lakers, 1-3 straight. They haven't been good, man, facing unrested opponents, because we know Charlotte's going to be on the second leg of a back-to-back. This team is just 1-3. The Lakers are facing unrested opponents, a minus 3.4 in point differential. Not sure why they're not able to take advantage of these unrested opponents. 17th offensive efficiency, 28th in defensive efficiency, And you look at Charlotte, second leg of a back-to-back, this team has been god-awful. 0-3 straight up when unrested, minus 23.6 in point differential. They're the 25th rated offense and the 15th, they're 15th in defensive efficiency in this spot. So it should be a Lakers spot. But can we really trust the Lakers after winning in Boston and winning in the guard, like winning in both gardens, in TD Garden and then winning at MSG? Can we trust the Lakers to go into Charlotte and really put their foot down on the Charlotte Hornets team? We should be able to, but I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. So what's the bet? I think for me, I lean Lakers team total over, and you guys can see why. I think you kind of stay away from the spread. I don't expect the Lakers to play the defense that they played against the Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks because those were really meaningful games. Now you got the Lakers laying 10 points. The Lakers were dogs in both of those games. And, sometimes that flip can like teams can let up. So should they? They shouldn't. They shouldn't have a problem beating this team, especially being more rested than them. But I don't know if I trust them. Also, you see Charlotte's defense. I wrote, it's not good. They're 30th overall in a lot of different categories. But I think this one is defensive rating that I looked at specifically. And they should be worn down. The Pacers were playing at a pretty fast pace. Tyrese Halliburton came back. Jalen Williams was in. All of the guys, all four guys that was on the injury report all did play in that game. So that's the way I'm looking at that one. Let's keep going. Next game we got up is, and I don't have one of these graphics for every single game, but the ones that I really cared about, I wanted to kind of make a graphic for just so you guys can see. So next game up, and if you guys join late, man, like I said, do me a favor, hit the like button for me if you can. I enjoy doing these night shows, so I'm gonna try to keep them going as long as I keep getting love, man. As long as I keep getting love. So here we got the Kings and the Cavaliers. I do have a play in this game. My favorite play of the board is actually in this game. So you see the numbers for the Kings, 29-19 straight up. This team has been a little bit better than people expect. The people kind of wrote them off, and I said, man, the Kings are, you typically want to play them on the road when they're catching points versus laying points with them at home. So 29-19 straight up, 15-11 straight up on the road. They 16-9-1 against the spread on the road, 6-4 against straight up, and 6-3-1 against the spread in their last 10 games. And in Cleveland, we know how good Cleveland's been. 31-16 straight up. They're 17-8 at the crib, 25-22. They're covering numbers at home as well. Not the greatest, but they are profitable. They are 12-12 against the spread at home. And in their last 10 games, they've won 9 straight up, and they're 7-3 against the spread in their last 10. So how I'm looking at this game. So let's go injuries. So not anything to write home about on the Sacramento side. Vizinko you see on there listed as questionable. Sasha may play. I think he came back and played in that last game. And then this is a big one though for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Jared Allen listed as questionable. He did play in the San Antonio game. And I do expect him to play in this one. I know that was the second leg of a back-to-back, but I think because this Cleveland Cavaliers team I think they got revenge on their mind. I do think that they take this game very seriously. So let's look at the situational spots. For Sacramento, they're coming into this game on 1 day's rest. And this actually probably should be in red. This is the 7th straight road game. Not a spot you necessarily want to be playing for teams, especially when they've already done well on the road trip. You see Sacramento is 5-1 on the road on this road trip. So this will be the 7th game. And they beat the Chicago Bulls. They beat every team except the Miami Heat the other day. It's also a 3rd game in 4 nights for them and a 4th game in 6 nights because they're coming off the back-to-back where they played the Pacers and played the Bulls and beat both of those teams. We were actually on the Kings against the Pacers. I didn't take them against the Bulls, but I did lean the Bulls way. And I'm glad that the Kings won that game because I like the Cavs in this one. For the Cavs, first game back home, standalone home game for them. They did go to Memphis and take care of business. They did cover the early number. We got the 5. But they did not cover that late number. I think it closed at like 8.5. And then they did beat San Antonio and covered that spread as well. And this is a revenge game for them. They did lose in Sacramento back on November the 3rd. They lost 132-120. And I think, the Cavs, they take those games seriously. So what I bet the Cavs -5.5. Bad travel spot, like I talked about for Sacramento. Looking at some SDQL on Killer Sports. Road Dogs playing that 7th straight road game. In a 3rd game in 4 nights, they are, and this goes back all the way to 2021. Those teams are 21-46 against the spread, 31.3%. So it should be a very, very flat spot for Sacramento. I don't agree with the total going up. I think, looking at Sacramento, they've been a really solid defensive team, especially on the road. But I do think the Cavaliers, and I see the spread actually coming down. So you actually can go get a 5 right now. Money coming in on Sacramento. I could care less. I like Cleveland in the spot. I bet them -5.5 a little earlier today. But you could also wait until Jared Allen gets ruled in. Jared Allen gets ruled in. This line probably will go back up to 5.5. I do expect him to play in this spot. Could he not play and I lose the bet? Absolutely. But I do kind of expect him to play in this spot. So we'll see how this one goes, man. We'll see how it goes. What else do we got? So before I get out of here, there are a couple other games that I did not make a slideshow for, and I'll just kind of give you guys my thoughts on those games. So you got the Clippers and the Hawks. Like I said, I didn't make a slideshow for these ones. No graphics for these ones. So Clippers and Hawks. You got the Hawks. They are getting 3 points. It was 3.5 at home. Total coming down. It opened at 245.5, down to 244. I do got a banner for this as well. So down to 244. Big thing in this game is who's going to play. Now the reports are already out that PG said that he probably will play. He didn't. It's not official yet, but he did say that he probably would play in this game. But Kawhi could rest. This is not the greatest spot for the Clippers. Now the Clippers are 32-15 straight up. They've been taking this road trip very, very serious. They 13-11 straight up on the road. Well, 14-11 straight up on the road. They've won 9 of their last 10 games, and they've covered 8 of their last 10 spreads. Looking at the Hawks, they have not been the greatest team, although they are kind of getting hot, man. 22-27 straight up, 12-13 straight up at home, 14-35 against the spread at home, which is still abysmal. But they are 7-8 against the spread at home specifically. So while they haven't necessarily done well straight up, they have covered some numbers at home. 6-4 straight up, and 4-6 against the spread in their last 10, which is actually good because they were a lot worse than that. Situationally for the Clippers, this team is on the second leg of a back-to-back, of course, 7th road game for this team. And they've actually won for 5 of the 6 road games, 4-3 straight up, and a plus 13.6 when they're playing unrested. Some teams don't play well when they're unrested. Other teams like the Clippers play very, very well. This is one of the best teams in the league playing unrested. They're third in offensive efficiency and second in defensive efficiency, playing on no days rest. Now, could they run out of gas because it's the last game of a road trip? They absolutely could. But we'll see how serious they take this game. They have the guys that can get in front of Trae Young, potentially slow DeJounte Murray down. The Clippers do a great job of rebounding the basketball. They got Zubac back tonight against the Miami Heat, and you see them. They really go in there and kind of stifle. They stifled the Miami Heat, who also just not a great offensive team at all. Now the Hawks, not the greatest spot for them either, although they are in their 6th straight and final home game. They are coming off an overtime win against the Golden State Warriors, so they might be a little fatigued in this spot as well. This will be the last home game for them. They actually go to Boston. They play in Boston on Wednesday. Now, head-to-head, this will be the first matchup of the season. And these two teams kind of match up well against each other. Both teams have won 5 of the last 10 in 5 of the last 10 meetings, so they split. And the Clippers are 4-6 against the spread in the last 10. Interesting trend that I kind of looked at. Unrested teams playing their 7th straight and final game of a road trip. Those teams are just 20-38 straight up. 23-34-1 against this spread. It's a very rare occurrence, and that goes all the way back to 2021. These teams that are unrested playing their final game of a 7-game road trip, they typically run out of gas. So 20-38 straight up, 23-34-1 since 2015. That trend is actually 3-9 straight up and against the spread since 2015. The first number I gave you guys was all the way back to 2001. As far as the total, teams also playing in that same spot, playing their 7th and final road game unrested. 34-21-3 to the under. Like I said, it's typically a spot that you run out of gas. That's 61.8% since 2001. The Clippers are also 7-3 to the under. They're 8-3 to the under in their road games because the night game did go under as well. So if they can get in here, slow this Hawks offense down, I do think that this could be a potential under game. Clippers play at a much slower pace, even though they can play slow. Even though they can play fast, I think that they'll slow the game down tomorrow and not, try to run at Atlanta's pace. So I kind of do like the under. Haven't played it yet. Want to do a little bit more research on it, but I think that would be my top play in this game. And then let's see. We got what else we got? We got Warriors and Nets, not a game I'm extremely interested in. I'll tell you guys from the injury report, Ben Simmons has already been rolled out for injury management, which means that they're probably not taking this game extremely serious. Dorian Finney-Smith remains out as well. On the Golden State side, Andrew Wiggins is listed as doubtful. I can't remember why, but he is listed as doubtful. Golden State, man, they struggle really bad. I watched Steph go for 60 the other day, and them just not be able to get a stop. Like they literally could not stop anybody. Steph would hit a shot, DeJounte Murray would come down, make another shot. And this was, in overtime specifically. They just couldn't get a stop. Atlanta got whatever it is that they wanted, and Steph was really just carrying his team. I think Klay Thompson made like his first 2 shots, and then shot 2 for like 17 from the field the entire rest of the game. So I don't like the Nets as much without Ben Simmons. It feels like they've been kind of hooping since he came back. They did beat Philly in Philly. I think that was a pretty big game for them, especially with the playoff revenge from last year. So I don't really know what to do with the game. I think, looking at Golden State, they don't win on the road. They're only 8-11 straight up, but they are 12-8 against the spread on the road. And they, like I said, they just not like for me to take Golden State, they got to be in some kind of advantage spot. Like it has to be a situational spot for me right now, just because they haven't looked that great, man. 4-6 straight up in their last 10, 5-4-1 against the spread in their last 10. Brooklyn also, I don't like Brooklyn, man. I just feel like Brooklyn is a 3-point shooting team, and it's a lot of variance when all you do is shoot the 3-pointer, man. And that's how I feel about them. I could be wrong. Maybe somebody else feels different, but this team is 20-28 straight up. They are 12-13 at home, 14-9-2 against the spread at home, 4-6 in their last 10, 4-5-1 against the spread in their last 10. Third game in 4 nights, fourth game in 6 nights for the Golden State Warriors. They're coming off the overtime win. I guess all those things would kind of make me look towards Brooklyn in this spot. The number opened at 2, is down to 1 at some spots. So I guess I kind of like the spot for Brooklyn just a tad bit more. I'll tell you guys this: Golden State playing on 1 day's rest, not a great team. 9-15 on the season. They're minus 2.5 in point differential, 13th in offensive efficiency, and 26th in defensive efficiency. For Brooklyn, it'll be the first leg of a back-to-back. They host the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow. And playing on 1 day's rest this season, they've not been good either. 13-18 straight up, 18th in offensive efficiency and 17th in defensive efficiency. So, they got, some guys that can stay in front of Steph. And, if they're guarding the 3-point line, they may be able to, keep this one close. But I'm not sure what to do with this one, man. I'm really not sure what to do with this game. Not a game that I'm probably going to play. December 16th, these two teams did play. That game went over to 235 by 9 points. And this total actually opened higher. So maybe you just take the over. These teams probably not going to play much defense. You need about 118 apiece. We know Golden State's going to run pretty fast. Brooklyn defense has been playing a little bit better recently. But with a fast-paced team like Golden State, I would only be able to look towards the over, not trusting Brooklyn's defense in this spot. And Golden State, like I said, third game in 4 nights and a fourth and 6 for them also. So maybe I couldn't quite get there with anything. I wrote down Nets team total over. Warriors playing off the overtime game, probably a little bit, even though they had a day of rest, don't like that for them. They're 26th in defensive efficiency playing on 1 day's rest, and it's a third game in 4 nights. So maybe you just stay off of it and play the team total over, thinking that if Golden State's going to come in there and play fast, then, the Nets going to have to play fast, and the Warriors defense isn't good. So sometimes it's just that logic that kind of makes sense. Last game up, let's get to Raptors and Pelicans. So this line was actually at 8, and the total was actually at 235. You see the spread move up to 11, and the total come down to 232, it looks like. And this is a game that I played as well. So, I can give you guys all the numbers, and I think some of it is important as far as Toronto. I'm not sure what they're going to do with some of these players. You got RJ Barrett that just came back tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder. I can't remember how many minutes he played, but he played big minutes because they went to double overtime with OKC. Probably should have won the game, but they let OKC stick around. OKC just made a few more plays than they did down the stretch and ended up, pulling out the win. Toronto played a lot better than I expected. I had OKC in a money line parlay. I was not expecting OKC to look, like that tonight. You also got DeJounte Porter. He missed the game tonight. Not sure if he's going to play tomorrow. Also, guys like Jakob Poeltl, maybe he plays again. I know he's only been back for a couple games. Then on the opposite side, you got Herb Jones, Larry Nance Jr., and Zion all listed as questionable. Toronto, not the greatest team. They're 17-31 on the season. Now they're 7-19 on the road. They did cover the spread though, so that makes them 14-12 on the road against the spread. But straight up, they've won one of their last 10 games, 4-6 against the spread in their last 10. And the Pelicans, we know if they play well, it's typically at home, 28-21 straight up on the season, 14-10 at the crib, 5-5 straight up, and against the spread in their last 10, 18-4 straight up with a +4 in point differential playing on 1 day's rest, the 10th in offensive efficiency and 9th in defensive efficiency playing on 1 day's rest. And now they get a team that's playing on the second leg of a back-to-back and going to double overtime. Not the greatest spot, like I said, for the Toronto Raptors here. Situationally, for the Raptors, fifth game of a 6-game road trip, second leg of a back-to-back, playing unrested. Toronto's 2-6 straight up with a -5, pretty much a -5 in point differential. They're the 9th rated offense playing on no rest and the 25th rated defense. So Pelicans team total over kind of sticks out based on that number. But the Pelicans, it'll be their first game back home after the 4-game road trip. Potential look-ahead spot, though. They do got the Clippers on Wednesday, and they lost to the Clippers. They lost to the Clippers 95-111. During their last meeting. This is the first head-to-head matchup between the Raptors and the Pelicans this season, but I could see some players, maybe sitting in this one. So I had wrote down New Orleans team total over, unrested Raptors team that's, struggled to get stops defensively. Even though they did play pretty well defensively, I don't think that that's going to happen again. Pelicans offense has been, much better than their defense as of late. Toronto 22nd defensively, defensive efficiency over the last 2 weeks. So I actually played the under in this game. I do think, and what I had was just teams that are unrested playing. Let me see exactly what I had. So teams going to at least 2 overtimes as road dogs and they're unrested. Those games are 39, 21, and 1 to the under. That's 65%. Says that their team kind of runs out of gas, so the full game doesn't go over. And I do think that the Raptors will probably be playing a tad bit slower tomorrow against the Pelicans, trying to, probably just won't have it all. Probably won't have it all. So under in this game for me, and let's get to the top looks real quick. So under in this game, the Raptors and the Pelicans game, I gave it out at 230, whatever the first number was. I think it was 234.5. It's down to 232 now. So got some CLV. We'll see what happens there. Let's see. And Kings and Cavs. I did take the Cavs. Like I said, you get a better number than I did because I do see some fives out there. But I like the Cavs, man. I think the Kings get smacked up tomorrow. I know that they've done really well on this road trip, going 5-1. But I think they go back home 5-2, and the Cavs covered a 5.5 point spread. We also got to remember the only loss that the Sacramento Kings got on this road trip actually came against who? The Miami Heat, another team that likes to slow the pace down, another team that plays really good defense. And another team that has a lot of size. Sacramento is a really good rebounding team, but Cleveland Cavaliers have been the number 1 or number 2 rebounding team over the last 5 or 10 games. So getting Evan Mobley back, getting Darius Garland back. I mean, this team still continues to kind of flow that way. So I do like the Kings tomorrow. My top play of the day. And then, like I said, I took this under. I probably won't add anything else. Maybe a player prop, a little small play on a player prop or something. But I probably just go with these 2 plays with the 6 games. If you guys like the video, as you guys see on this slide, hit the like button for me if you guys can. Share the show. Tell your coworkers, your friends, your family, your supervisor. Tell everybody about the show that likes to, get free content. And subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Best of luck to everyone. Enjoy the games. And as always, man, y'all bet responsibly. And like I said, I won't be doing a show tomorrow at 5 p.m. All week. Maybe do one Friday, but I will not be available this week to do shows during the normal 5 o'clock slot. So hopefully the video does well. I'll do another late night show tomorrow, looking ahead to Tuesday slate. Best of luck to you guys. I'm out.